I'm Sarah Peretta, and I'm in finance for an eye care company. I like Progress Texas because it supports progressive values in Texas, where it's really critical. It's only up from here.
It's Monday, February 24th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch. Rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. The West Texas measles outbreak now has the attention of global media, and that story has developed rapidly over the weekend. Holly Large at IFL Science says the case count was approaching 100 as of Friday, 16 of those cases resulting in hospitalizations, the vast majority in people under 18 who were not vaccinated against the disease. I'm learning this morning that there is no specific treatment for measles, which makes prevention through vaccination the only check on it, and also makes the hesitation even more confounding to people who respect science. Spread outside of its West Texas ground zero at Gaines County has become a certainty. David Martin Davies at Texas Public Radio says alerts have been sounded over the weekend as an individual who tested positive for the virus in West Texas is confirmed to have traveled to two major universities and one of the nation's busiest tourist attractions, the San Antonio Riverwalk, last weekend, February 14th through the 16th. This disease is super contagious, so it's worth noting the exact locations that have been compromised and when. They include Texas State University's main campus in San Marcos on the afternoon of Friday the 14th, the Twin Peaks restaurant in San Marcos on Friday night, UT San Antonio's main campus at midday on Saturday the 15th, several Riverwalk locations in San Antonio, including the Wax Museum and Ripley's Believe It or Not on Saturday afternoon, Mr. Krabby's Seafood and Bar on Saturday night, and the New Braunfels Buc-ee's on Sunday morning, February 16th. It does appear as though this person didn't know they were infected until after they had made this visit. Science-respecting folks, myself included, may have begun to wonder if there are boosters or any other vaccination bolstering options to consider as the outbreak spreads. Maria Godoy at NPR talked to Dr. William Schaffner, a professor of infectious diseases at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. He says, quote, "If you've been vaccinated with 2 doses of vaccine as per routine, you have a 95+% chance of being completely protected throughout your life," unquote. But there are a couple of caveats here. Folks born after 1957 but vaccinated before 1968 should consider being revaccinated, as the dose used then was made from inactive viruses and didn't work as well as later versions using attenuated live virus. Further, those of us vaccinated between 1968 and 1989 probably received only 1 dose of the vaccine rather than the 2 that are standard today. If you're not sure, Dr. Schaffner says there's no risk of harm from an additional shot. Definitely something to consider. Protests and rallies are beginning to form up a regular feature of our weekends around here. The Latin Times reports that public school advocates gathered near the Capitol in Austin on Saturday to send a clear message to Texas lawmakers that they oppose using taxpayer dollars to fund private and parochial schools. This rally was put together by Save Texas Schools, a nonpartisan statewide volunteer coalition of stakeholders in public education, including parents, educators, and politicians. Democratic Austin State Rep Gina Hinojosa, a long-standing advocate against private school vouchers, was among the elected leaders present. She said of the whitewashed Republican terminology school choice, quote, "Make no mistake, it is the private school's choice. Is your kid good enough? Is your kid the right religion? Is your kid Christian enough?" Unquote. Austin State Rep James Tallarico was there too. He said, quote, "Abbott is trying to pass his private school voucher scam once again because he's beholden to billionaires who want to close our public schools and sell them for parts. First, he'll have to come through us," unquote. Other longtime voucher opponents took part as well, including Congressman Lloyd Doggett and State Rep Maria Luisa Flores. One notable politician present was former Republican State Representative Glenn Rogers, who himself was primaried and ousted for his opposition to school vouchers in defense of his rural schools back home. The Texas House appears likely to hold hearings on both HB 2 and HB 3, both aimed at establishing a private school voucher program this week. Also in education and from the Houston Chronicle, the aftermath of the tragic suicide of 11-year-old Jocelyn Rojo Carranza, who had been relentlessly bullied with threats of deportation against her family at her school. Community members have noticed that Gainesville ISD, north of DFW, has remained curiously silent about Jocelyn's death. Gainesville Intermediate School, where she was a student, has posted on its Facebook page several times since she died, but has yet to acknowledge Jocelyn's passing. Gainesville Independent School District has also not acknowledged Jocelyn publicly, nor has anyone with the district responded to requests for comment from the Houston Chronicle. Apparently out of sight, out of mind. This last one reminds me of the resistance call not to obey in advance. Once again, from the Houston Chronicle, Ariana Garcia says Houston TV news station KPRC Channel 2 removed video from a recent story due to complaints from several local Republican lawmakers. The story in question was put together by investigative reporter Joel Eisenbaum about the backlash against Sci-Fair ISD over controversial textbook revisions they've been making, specifically editing out of their textbooks information on vaccines, climate change, diversity. You get the idea. Eisenbaum's piece also included historic footage of Nazi book burnings from Germany, drawing the ire of Republican Congressman Wesley Hunt, State Rep Steve Toth, and State Senator Paul Bettencourt, for whom the analogy was decidedly uncomfortable. Station management quickly caved, of course, and took down the piece, though news director Anna Lastra did maintain that, quote, the facts of the story remain undisputed, unquote, and that the station is continuing to pursue those facts. So this reporter going there could eventually prove effective in getting the word out about conservative suburban school boards dumbing down their kids' curriculum because politics. February is Black History Month, and Progress Texas Advocacy Associate Tatum Owens has put together a great essay on this year's celebration, taking place amid so much opposition and turmoil, including an extensive list of Black History Month events taking place across the state. See also in the show notes a listing of Black-owned businesses to support from the Austin American-Statesman, locations ranging from Houston to Fort Worth to Corpus Christi and more. Our funding here at Progress Texas is rarely sufficient for us to plan much more than a quarter or two ahead, but the conservative disinformation machine we oppose has no such obstacle. They're funded by oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups. Our regular everyday listeners form a key component of our funding here at Progress Texas. If that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. Thanks to Darby Hamilton, Alicia Deal, and Marianne Reisner, all of whom have joined the team lately. We appreciate all of you very much. For our Austin listeners in particular, but really for all of you, the Amplify Austin Day season is officially underway. This year's early giving period has started. Look up Progress Texas at amplifyatx.org or see the direct link in the show notes. The official I Live Here, I Give Here Amplify Austin Day is coming up late next week. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Monday, February 24th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and a great week. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.